Well, it's Monday morning. I wouldn't say it's a good morning, but it's Monday. Let me explain why it's 9:10. Should have been on the road 4 hours ago. So I'm taking the enclosed down to right outside of Orlando, Florida. So the original plan was to pick up 2 separate cars and have one drop-off location for one shop, which was great. It worked out. I mean, they were about 4 hours apart, but 4 hours apart that I'm in the middle, so 2 hours north and then 2 hours back, and then if that makes any sense. So it kind of worked out for me. I didn't mind, and it paid good. They didn't try to make them as a bundle deal. It paid what they should for mileage separately. So I was like, hey, that's fine. Yeah, let's do that. Well, I called on Saturday, Sunday, and again this morning. Like I said, it's after 9 o'clock. The pickup location for the one vehicle, nobody can get a hold of. So it's kind of the thing where I told the guy, I gotta come all the way to Florida. I got pickups in Florida tomorrow. So I've got to get moving as soon as possible. So the one location opens at 9 here, where I've already talked to the people, confirmed pickup. So that one's set in stone. Now I'm actually running to the grocery store now to grab some things for the road, hoping that I just got on Central real quick and found another vehicle that's kind of local to me. Well, it's on the way south. It's just right outside of Baltimore. And I think it's a 16 Corvette or something, enclosed, headed down to Jacksonville. So I can drop that one off in Jacksonville and then continue down to Orlando. So it kind of works. It's on the way. Pays a little bit less, but now with this, and this is what you have to deal with sometimes, time's the problem now. I got that daily goal of what I try to meet per day of revenue, of gross income. But if I'm not moving, I'm not making any money. And sometimes the fact that I don't have to go north and come back, which would be a total of 4 hours, I can take that hit on a little bit on this car, because this car is a shorter distance. It's only going to Jacksonville, and it's already in Maryland. So the guy said he'd give 40 minutes, and he'd confirm, because I tried to bump him up on the price about another $150. But I told him I'm 30 minutes outside of where the car is, and I can have it there tomorrow. So I'm thinking he's going to go for it. He just had to call the customer and confirm. 10:33, finally leaving. So ended up getting a hold of the guy, because I called the broker and I was like, hey, this guy, what do you want me to do? He's like, that's weird. He's been a customer for 15 years and is on top of it usually. Well, he sent me a text last night which failed on his end. So it had the little red thing and said it failed. So anyways, it failed, so I'm not gonna be able to make it work with the time, which sucks. But I can't, because that happened with him, I can't not take care of the other customer. So I already booked another car, which we're headed to get right now, and you'll see that. Again, not really losing money because of the distance that I would have had to go. So it happens. I'm not mad, really. It's just I'm behind schedule now. So looks like we'll be driving late into the night. It's already 10 o'clock now. We're headed to pick the first one up about an hour up the road, and then on the way south we'll pick up the second, and then we'll start trucking down towards Orlando. Well, good thing we wore sneakers, because we're hoofing it. Trying to find, well, I know where it is because I drove around, but there's nowhere to park in these business complex. All these things are marked and say like do not park, and I would have to block a few, so I just parked out. There's a circle down there. I just came out of the circle and parked on the side of the road. And we're going to this place here, All American Street Rods in Manassas, Virginia, to pick up a C10 truck that heads to Florida, which is kind of the whole reason for the Florida trip, which is supposed to be 2 vehicles turned into 1, made back to 2 with another broker and another customer. Man, look at this fancy thing. Push button start, Apple CarPlay, some digital dash. Show you the outside, I guess, when we like I said, we're parked out here to the left. We'll get out here and show you what this thing looks like. Alright, well here's this one, 69 C10. Sweet little ride, not pristine or mint by any means on the body, but sounds good. Got our inspections done on it. Just waiting to kind of confirm something on it, just because the guy who facilitated the deal is not here right now. So it was done by somebody else in the shop, and I just want to confirm a few small details before this thing makes its way down to Florida. Huh. That looks funny. Ah, gotcha, bitch. That looks good through the door though, doesn't it? Makes it sure easy to strap these down. Well, nothing like an 11 o'clock p.m. trailer light repair. That light had a ground issue, which I had to put in a different light because whatever happened, it messed up the LEDs. So I got one that's close here. I'm at Kenley. Sorry, I'm at Kenley here. It's like humid as hell. And I found a light in there, so I'm just gonna put one in to just for this trip, and then get a matching one back for that one. But I got all my tools laid out here: a drill, test light, wire connectors. I had to tear this whole side off to find it, but it's to that light there too. But I got turn signal now and running lights, so we're just gonna go with that for now. And then whenever I get home, I'll fix it correctly and have matching lights in there. But like I said, it's 11 o'clock and I still got some hours to run for tonight. Man, good morning. Good morning, everybody. You know, it really is crazy to think how excited I get to pay $3.99 a gallon. Finally. I don't know if it's gonna stay that way or whatnot, but fuel seems to be coming down some across the board, not just certain states. I'm trying to think. Yesterday, I think it was like $4.08 or something. I might have said it earlier in the video, but it was getting close to $4 a gallon. And I just paid $3.99, which is awesome. So, we should deliver around lunchtime today. And we already got our reloads booked. It's kind of, we'll drop one, we'll pick one, we'll drop the other, and then we'll pick the other. Because it's kind of like dropping Orlando, picking Lakeland, then got to get over to Boca Raton, drop one and pick one in the same city. So we just got fuel here at the Pilot. I'm gonna run in and get some breakfast because I'm starving this morning. Well, it's love bug season. Why, man, the condensation, it is so humid. Anyways, checking this car, making sure the straps are good. I remember I told you this car wasn't mint. It's got a bunch of little stuff wrong with it. Looks like somebody did a crappy paint job on it. But it's a nice truck, so I don't know if it's going down here to be finished or what the deal is. But just checking our straps because we only got an hour till we drop that one. Looks like I need to readjust that. This taxi is kind of a pain in the butt because it's not as necessarily as wide as what the tracks are, especially in the front. We'll go around, check those. So convenient having this door here. I know I say that time and time again, but being able to just stand here like this and put a strap on, God, it makes things easy. What do I get myself into sometimes? Ran out of gas trying to load it, so he's gonna get a gas can. But should go up in there nice and easy. It's then we got the race ramps because look how low the front end on this thing sits. But that's why we bought the expensive race ramps. Woo! Welcome to Florida heat. You guys never see me without a hat usually, but I'm sweating so bad. Getting this slingshot loaded. We put some gas in it, we drove it up the ramp and then pushed it the rest of the way because you got probably a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch on each side of those front wheels to get between the fenders. It fits perfectly, but we just pushed it in because that thing's got an exhaust on it. It's loud, and they're manual, so it's kind of hard to hear, and it would be a pain. I'll tell you this, it'd be a pain in the butt to load by yourself, which is I'm the guy that owns the shop was here, which is cool. Got a little bit of issue with the trailer brakes. Had one that was like locking up on me, but I adjusted it. It was way too tight, but it flat spotted the tire. So, backing out of this industrial complex now. It flat spotted the tire bad enough that I'm gonna replace it, but probably not till we get home. So, let me get back out of this complex, and the landscapers just got back there all trying to back their trucks in too. And there's people everywhere. They're standing out here in the parking lot drinking Modelo's. And honestly, I wish I was joining them, actually. So let me tell you about this while we're backing out and figuring out where we're going. So I call, so I've done one drop off and one pickup, okay? Got one more drop off to do and one more pickup. The two pickups, well, the drop off and the pickup are in Boca Raton. They're 1.4 miles away from each other. Perfect, right? So I call the guy, I'm like, hey, it's not gonna be till 8 o'clock till I deliver this. He said, yeah, that's fine, no worries. He said, I'm here, you're delivering it to my house. Sweet. So I put the taxi in the back so I could just back it straight out. Oh, sorry, I am. So then I go to call the lady I'm picking a van up for. It seems like it's maybe like a lease deal or like a Carvana or some type of buy and sell trade in, because I'm taking it to Manheim, but it's going to Manheim, Pennsylvania from Boca Raton, Florida, which doesn't make much sense, I guess, but anyways, unless they bought it outright because they were looking for that van or whatever. So I call the lady and I'm like, hey, you know, it's going to be a little later. It'll be about 8:30. I'll be right down the road from your house. If you need me, I can like come get the keys, and I can come get the keys, and then like when I get unloaded, I'll just come right back and pick it up. Well, she's like, that's not going to work. I was like, what? Like, I just talked to you, you know, yesterday. I told you it'd be this evening. She's like, well, I'm expecting another van and it hasn't showed up yet. The transporter was supposed to be here yesterday and I haven't. He's still not here today. And it's at the end of the day. Oh my Christ. So another transporter's kind of screwing me. So I call the broker. I'm like, hey, you know, this is what's going on. He goes, just cancel it. I'm like, well, we're gonna, like, you gonna pay a dry run fee or anything? He says, well, didn't you touch base with her? I said, yeah. And I told him just what I said. And he was like, I'll call you later. Okay. Like, all I wanted was like 150 or so bucks for the, because it's late enough in the day, I'm not gonna be able to book anything for the rest of the day, and I want to start heading north. So these sparkling waters in my fridge are saving the day. As hot as it is, having something ice cold like that to drink is key. So let's it's about 3 hours over Boca Raton, and let's get this taxi delivered. He's waiting, he's got cash for me, and then we'll get a game plan together from there, I think.